do we dream? Welcome to the Midnight Mysteries Podcast.
Welcome to the Midnight Mysteries Podcast, guys.
We're back again.
We are back.
Episode
3.
How we doing?
We're good. How y'all
well.
doing today?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I
Awesome.
have some news updates about my leg.
Oh.
So apparently, I was told I needed surgery the first time, and then the second doctor I saw said I may not need surgery.
Yay.
So I got to do a few weeks of physical therapy, and then I'm gonna get reassessed, and then we'll go from there. And so, friends, family who are concerned, that's the update.
Cross your fingers. No surgery. So do you want surgery?
I mean, I thought I did need surgery because I tore a ligament.
Right.
So they're saying if you're not really a pro athlete, it's not really necessary, which I kind of disagree with. But whatever. What do I know?
Whatever. I mean, you won't have to go through that surgical procedure. So, yeah. How you doing today, Juicy J?
Whatever happens. You know, if you need surgery, if it's for the best, then.
Yeah, true.
Either way, positive vibes your way.
Thank you. How we liking the fit though? The fit today.
Hey, the fit though. Looney
Finally.
Tunes.
They kept bugging me about wearing colorful PJs. So
Looney Tunes.
this is the only
Tunes
episode I'm gonna do it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
PJs is our thing. PJs is our thing because the podcast is about sleep and dreams. So we try to stay in our little character. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
What about y'all's fit? What we wearing?
What we wearing today, Jay? Show your tune
squad over here.
squad.
Tune squad. 2XL and kids. I got it at Walmart in case someone wants the same one. It's pretty dope. I like it.
Oh.
It's like colorful and it has like all the characters on it.
Dope.
Tune squad.
So, bringing back the 90s. Bringing back the 90s.
Yes. Love it. Did you ever watch did y'all watch the second Space Jams?
With Leon. Leon
Leon Bridges.
No, with LeBron.
Yeah.
It was all right.
Yeah.
With
It was
LeBron?
funny.
Yeah.
You haven't seen that? There's a second
Negative.
Space Jam with LeBron James in it.
Oh, that sounds-
He's the lead. Like Michael Jordan was the lead in the first Space Jam.
I have not. That came out like a while ago or what?
A few
I
years.
don't remember. Yeah.
It's been like 3 or 4 years, maybe.
Oh, well, I was just like not even
Oh yeah,
No.
yeah.
TV
Yeah,
at
that's
that
right.
time.
Well, we're gonna have to watch it with you
Yeah,
sometime.
Yeah, let's watch it. I'm down.
Yeah, around that time frame, the people that have been following us, they know your story now.
Thank you for watching.
So they'll
guys, once again.
understand.
So all that's fit.
My fit, I put it together.
Creative.
It's actually 2 different outfits. So I had bought like a pajama set, blue top that came with blue pants, and then I'm also wearing a black dress, kind of like a black gown. So I put it all together. You guys said y'all were gonna wear Looney Tune outfits. So
That was actually an accident too. Yeah.
right.
She said we have a group chat, and she said she's got the Looney Tunes shirt, and I'm like, oh, I gotta show her now. So I sent them a video of my PJs.
Yeah, so I was
I was like, we're
all
best
right.
friends for a reason, dog.
We are BFFs forever. Bees for life. Bees for life. No,
Bees
I
for
like
life.
your fit. It's really nice and cute, and you
Yeah.
got creative, so,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Another grandma fit. I'm just kidding. That's not a grandma fit. I'm just.
Damn, casing on you.
Down.
I got your back. Don't even trip, potato chip.
Let me get a tissue now.
Here.
Right
I got my sleeve this time for you.
So I got something I want to read to you guys. I got we're just starting out. Our YouTube channel ain't shit yet. But no, we're just starting out. I thought I would look up I'm a spiritual guy. I'm into numerology. So I looked up what are you laughing at? I looked up the angel number for the number of subscribers that we have on our YouTube channel. So
33?
33.
33.
Can I read that to you?
Moving on up.
Yes, sir, please.
So it's
do.
short. It's really short. But I thought it was interesting, and I wanted to read it to you guys. So, let's see here.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. 33 is considered a master number in numerology, often referred to as the master teacher. It carries the energies of compassion, spiritual upliftment, and divine guidance. This number resonates with a higher frequency, encouraging service to others, creativity, and emotional understanding. Seeing 33 often means you're being called to align with your soul's higher purpose. It suggests you're on the right path, and divine forces are supporting your growth, especially in the areas that uplift humanity and awaken consciousness.
Is that a sign or what?
I would say it's a sign, yeah. So Ascended Masters and the Ascended Masters connection. 33 is closely linked to the presence of Ascended Masters, Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Krishna, all them guys. And their energy surrounds you, offering guidance, wisdom, and love. If you're speaking about spirituality, they may be helping guide your message.
That heart kind of look ghetto.
So having 33 followers right now may be a sign from the universe that your podcast is divinely guided. Even if it's just starting, it has the potential to awaken others, provide healing, and serve as a spiritual tool. You're not just making content, you're channeling a mission.
Wow.
And then they say the 33 shows up, the angels are near, not just watching, but whispering. You're exactly where you're meant to be. This number is the call of the soul, the voice of the healer, the light in the dreamer's night. We are a crossroads of spirit and sleep, where dreams and more than memories and whispers from beyond become stories worth telling. 33 followers, 33 souls, 33 reasons to keep going.
Wow.
To keep going.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning, and the universe is listening.
So
I love that. Wow.
So I read that, and I thought I wanted to share that with you guys.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Very enlightening.
It is. Yeah.
Very.
I
Yeah,
really
because I
like
saw
that.
33 too, and I was like, wow, I wonder if that means anything. Now that you brought it up,
And then your
there's some
dream,
significance.
My dream.
333.
333, yes, the dream from the last episode, yes.
Yes.
So yeah, that's I thought that was very powerful.
That's so cool,
I wanted
dude.
to share that.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank
Hell
you.
Yeah. Hell yeah, hell yeah.
All right. I think that was a very big, powerful quote, especially what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Because if you guys remember, whenever we went to Cidercade, we each talked about creating a podcast.
That's right.
Like I had something in the works, and then you guys were like, "Oh, we wanted to do a podcast too," and I was like, "What?"
The Namaste and Chill.
Namaste and chill.
Namaste and chill. And mine was gonna be more sleep related, and so we all came together and we're like, "Hey, let's just all do it." And
Yeah.
honestly, I don't know. Like, I still don't know. Like, I guess we all don't know how we're gonna do all this because John has his specialty. He's an artist, musician. So there's stuff we can talk about, with music. And I'm a sleep technologist, so I do have my experience with sleep and talking to patients about their dreams.
Right.
And then Jay has her story, with addiction. So it's kind of like, damn. We're meant to be here. We're meant to do this. We each have our own story. We each have something to say about certain individuals, certain people, experiences.
Right.
You have your own experiences too, John, as a musician.
I do.
You do.
And so it's been amazing what we've done the last few episodes and how we're able to pull this off because we each have different stuff to talk about.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah, I remember talking about that too with you, and I didn't know I didn't think we would combine and just team up. And
all
I'm
worked
glad
out.
we did. I think this can become a very powerful
Force.
It can, yeah.
And it's 3 of us.
And I like the idea
talking
of,
to
of sleep,
Right.
and dreams, the sleep science, all that being the base subject of the podcast. But it won't hurt to also, not be limited to one subject.
Oh yeah,
Right.
and not
Like
only
with the addiction,
yeah.
that can be another thing that we touch on too, and just other subjects too.
Because I feel like Ala, being, knowledgeable about sleep and, her area of study, she can help others, doing the same or in the same work field, or just people who can relate to her and the whole dream topic. And then you can inspire many soon-to-be musicians or people who are barely starting.
That's true.
Or
Yeah.
just literally, or still have been in the game. And you can, I mean, you're a huge inspiration, dude.
Yeah, you
A
are.
lot of people
dude.
look up to you, man. You are. I look up to you.
I
dude.
do too. There's some
So many
stuff that
people. You're so talented. Like, you don't. I mean, I'm sure you know, but like,
it's good to hear it from other people,
It already is.
especially
You're
your
very
close
talented.
friends.
Especially when you don't hear it like from anybody. But yeah, hell yeah.
Oh,
Thank
you don't?
No,
You
nobody tells me that I'm an inspiration.
Yeah, dude.
What kind of friends do you have, John?
Yeah, maybe
know,
it's time
yeah.
to check your circle, man, because you've
gonna start
always
telling
been
you
an
more often.
inspiration. And even
you. I
stuff
would like to
like
hear
right
it more
now with like
Tell you
behind
every
the
morning.
scenes, the video, the music, the sound. Like I'm learning so much. I'm
you're
like,
so
damn,
you're so creative.
there's
and you're
so much
good
work
with-
behind creating a podcast.
There really
So much.
is. And the podcast creators know there is a lot of work with when it comes to editing the video, and we've only done two. But the first one was just audio, and that took work.
Right.
So there is a lot of work that comes with this.
Big kudos to you. Dude.
Yeah,
you did
big
do such a
kudos.
good job. And I know I've told
Thank
you
you
guys
for
before, but
Teaching us and being patient
Seriously.
with us because we are girls. So.
Oh my god, yes, y'all are girls. Yeah.
So when it comes to time management and stuff we don't know, you're willing to jump in and help us.
yeah,
and be patient.
yeah,
be
I'm
very
always willing to
patient.
help.
Have
Always.
patience.
I do have
Have
patience.
patience. Remember that song? Don't be in such a hurry. Remember?
Didn't we learn that in OLV,
Yeah.
dude?
Tell me that. And
Elementary.
that's funny because you told
What
me.
teacher was it? Do you remember?
I don't
I'm gonna
remember.
have to teach the kids that.
Did I teach you that, John?
Nuh-uh.
Oh.
No, I'm just saying. You're telling me don't be in a hurry when we're in the car.
Oh, yeah, dude. No, yeah.
I'm a speed demon.
You need to slow down, dude.
Okay, I'm sorry, mom.
I'd be like so scared in the car with you.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I forgive you. Just don't let it happen again. I'm just kidding. No. But yeah, like literally, I think we're all like, we're all capable of inspiring people from all walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sleep, dreams, music, addiction / recovery.
Yeah.
Right.
I've been getting so many like messages. So thankful for them. Thank you guys. Literally, I Ubered here. You guys Ubered me here. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
my Uber driver, I was telling him, I was like, yeah, I'm on my way. You know, me and my friends started a podcast, and he asked me, what's it about? And I was like, well, we all have, you know, our own little topics, our own, you know, music, sleep, dreams. And then I told him about my addiction and
Yeah.
how I'm in recovery. And so I was like, it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes it cool, because
Yeah.
we can bring in like crowds from all different types of.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes,
That
it
make
does.
sense.
Yeah.
So-
And
So it's cool.
eventually
I think
have-
we're a cool trio.
I'm
Yeah.
proud of us because I honestly, whenever we brought it up at Cidercade, I was like, are we ever going to do this? Like, but we just went with it. Like, we didn't, honestly, we were meant to be here because we didn't even hesitate. As soon as we started talking about it, John,
We just started doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like we started getting ideas. I was at work in between seeing patients, and then we were trying to figure out the logo, the sounds, the
Yeah.
music, and trying to look
cool.
up different topics. And then Jay talking about her addiction recovery as well, looking up different research and sending it to us. So it's
Yeah.
really been a team effort. And honestly, we
has.
haven't stopped, even though like I work another job, and then John is in recovery too.
I'm in recovery. Yeah.
Crippled.
Triple recovery.
Crippled.
Yeah.
So we're just going with it, and I'm very proud of us
Crip
for walking
That's
with
so
a crutch.
No, yeah. And I think that's so cool that it's three of us, and you're, you know, the angel number 33. So three of us.
Boom. The Denzel Washington. Boom. The
Like
Denzel
his-
Washington gift. Boom.
He sends it all the time. It's an inside joke.
Yeah, when I have
so-
to, when it's necessary. To,
Yeah.
Whenever we start thinking about different things, start questioning each other, and then we're like, "Oh wait, hold on, this is what this means." Johnny will go on there and be like, "Boom!" I'm like, "All right,
I do it at the right
okay,
time.
smarty pants."
Yeah.
Oh man,
So, this episode. What are we talking about this episode?
so this episode, are you guys ready to discuss today's episode?
Ready,
All
Ready? Like we just ate spaghetti.
we sure did.
We literally just
You
ate
just
spaghetti.
read my mind.
Hey,
Ready
Johnny makes some good spaghetti.
Dude, y'all gotta
Thank you.
try that spaghetti, meatballs. I said I was going to finish half the plate. I was like, that's a lot of food. I was like, I'm going to save some for later.
She devoured the entire plate.
She sure did. And she's like, is there more?
Y'all looked at me and I'm like, just chowing down.
And
I was hungry, man.
this girl only wanted to eat PB and what? PB and jam.
Strawberry jam.
Strawberry jam.
To be exact.
She
That's
loves
messed up.
strawberry jam.
I really do.
I like peach jam. I don't know.
I've never tried it.
You've never tried it?
No.
So I like making these biscuits with scrambled eggs and then put some peach jam in there. Some, what is it? Tampico or the hot sauce.
Tampico?
And then some ketchup in there.
Tampico.
And then...
Tajín?
No, Tampico's a juice, man.
Tampico's the juice.
You mean...
Look, she heard Tampico. She came
Ah, can you cut that out?
You talking about tapatio, right?
Tapatio?
Sí.
Is it-
Tapatio. I think so.
It's hot sauce?
Hot
Yeah,
sauce.
it's like
Yeah,
the little guy with the
tapatio.
sombrero.
Okay.
No, yeah,
Right?
no,
Yeah, yeah,
tapatio.
yeah.
So scrambled eggs on those little biscuits.
Keeping that in, by the way.
Yes, please. Please do.
How
Her Tampico ass.
embarrassing.
It's just a word. Words are
Okay,
made up.
scrambled eggs.
Right.
And then some tapatio. Right?
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Tapatio. Ketchup. And then some peach jam on the top of the biscuit. And then just squeeze it and then eat it like a little sandwich.
Fire.
Chef Ale over here.
Chef Ale.
Chef Girl RD.
For real. That sounds good.
I'll have to make y'all some next time, maybe.
Yeah, make us some.
Yeah, please.
We're
please.
always
Some
hungry.
biscuits with scrambled eggs.
I'm always down for some food. Seriously.
We sure are, man. We like to eat whenever we come over here. We got to be ready.
We really do.
Yeah.
All right. So today's episode will be about dreams, dreaming of past ones, dreaming
Past
of
loved ones.
past loved ones, those that have passed on to the other side, and us dreaming about them.
Very deep subject.
Very deep
very
subject. We all have had that kind of experience like that. We've each had a dream or similar, know someone who's had a dream like that. So I know I did have a dream actually of my grandpa after he passed away. Whenever he passed away, he did take me to my uncle's house. And it was weird because I couldn't see him. Like if we were interacting with each other, it was more telepathically. And whenever he took me in, he was walking me around and I saw one of my uncles, the one that took care of him a lot before he passed. And he was trying to talk to him, but my uncle was just walking. He was at one of his oldest house, had a big, nice pool. So us cousins growing up, we were always going to that house swimming.
Right.
And then after that, he was trying to talk to my uncle, but my uncle, we just couldn't interact with him in that dream. And so after that dream, he had taken me over to a hospital with a lot of chaos and a lot of stuff going on. And then after that, he took me to a chalkboard and then he wrote cancer.
Ooh.
So I was like, what? And this happened after my grandpa had passed away that same year. And so I was thinking, is he telling me that my uncle is about to have cancer?
Right.
The one, the house where he took me to.
Right.
So I woke up and then at the next family party, I did talk to my uncle. I asked him, hey, Theo, like I had a dream about grandpa and this is what happened. And he said, that's funny, mija, because I actually dreamt him here at the house, but I couldn't talk to him. I wasn't understanding him. Like I didn't know. He was just there. We couldn't communicate. And I was like, well, I guess he's trying to talk to you through me and, just letting you know, hey, I'm okay because you did take care of him
Right.
to the very end.
Right.
And he was like, wow, thank you for telling me. And I haven't really told very many people that story or that dream, just my mom, my dad, and him. I don't know if he went off to tell the rest of the family. But it was very deep because a few years later, COVID hit. So I don't know if he was showing me COVID. And then after that, my aunt was diagnosed with breast cancer.
I was just about to ask you, did your uncle end up getting cancer?
No, it
Your
was
aunt?
actually one of my aunts, and
crazy, dude.
that aunt does have a similar smile to my uncle, the one that I dreamt.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, maybe he was trying to tie in those two together.
Yeah.
But after that, I was like, wow, it is nice to dream about somebody who's passed, because sometimes you don't think that you're going to see them again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You think that
dude.
that's it.
Dude, tell me about it.
That's
Sorry
it.
about your grandpa.
Oh, it's okay.
Sorry about your grandpa.
It's okay.
Oh,
That's
getting emotional over
life.
here. No. It's a deep topic. It's
It
a
really
sensitive
is.
topic. You really don't think you're going to see them again, but it's crazy how they reveal themselves to you in your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. Their visitations, honestly. I know there's levels of dreams. So I know there's dreams where there's a stage where it's just your unconscious, subconscious mind is creating something that's so random.
Yeah.
But
Right.
when that happens, even before when you're in REM sleep, you can dream before REM sleep. But I feel like that's just like a random unconscious, I keep saying unconscious, subconscious doing whatever. And then there's also like the stage when you're in REM sleep that I deeply believe can be the other experience on the other side.
Yeah.
I think there's stories of people who where somebody dreamt of a loved one who showed them where an object was, where something was
Right.
that they could not have known.
Right.
And
That it was
they
there.
wake up and then it's there.
Sure enough, it's there.
I forgot everything. I tried to find that story. I couldn't find it. But just stuff like that. And I actually have dreamt of past loved ones. It's something I told her before the podcast. It's something I hadn't thought about in like 20. It's probably been about 20 years. He passed away about 26 years ago, in 1999. But my Uncle Danny, the one that passed away, he appeared in my dreams. I don't really remember what happened, but I remember him feeling like a message that everything's fine. I'm fine
Yeah.
here. I just don't remember everything. I wish I could.
What a sense of relief, right?
Yeah.
It was.
Kind of feeling.
Especially
was.
when you see them again.
And I know my other family members have also had dreams about him too. Yeah.
I think those dreams are so important for us to have, because sometimes we get stuck in grieving them.
Yes, it
And
really is.
It's grief is like a whole other level. And I think it's so important when we get those kind of dreams, because they literally relieve, like they're relieving. I at least I feel so at peace whenever I have similar dreams like that.
Yeah.
You wake up like, what's the word, nostalgic, but at the same time like
Nostalgia.
peaceful and like happy at the same time. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
It does. No, yeah.
Yeah.
It
That
does.
makes me wonder, like, what makes certain individuals dream of those past loved ones? Because not everybody will remember a dream or have that dream of a past loved one.
Yeah.
So what makes it to where, because I've had other people pass away in my family. So like, was I able to be the one that my grandpa was able to connect with? Because I didn't really see my grandpa a lot
You didn't?
before then.
Was this your dad's dad? Okay.
Yeah, I was in college, always doing my own thing, I would go see him every once in a while. So whenever I had that dream, I was like, wow, like I'm actually talking to grandpa in this dream.
Oh. Yeah.
So I don't know, like I've always wondered that. And it's just crazy to think like what makes, I don't know, certain people have those kind of dreams with past loved ones.
Yeah, and I was just
What kind of connection?
Yeah, and it's crazy because, even people like in my family who were close to family that passed away, they, till this day, they say I've never, or I have yet to have a dream of them, even though they were so close. So, and then there's others like me that I have dreams of, my grandma. I used to have them a lot.
Yeah.
Not recently, but it's weird how, people in my family who are just as close or whatever to my grandma, they
Right.
haven't dreamt of her. So it's, like you said, it's weird.
Like what
how-
makes, I'm not going to say what makes us so special, but what is it? Like what what in our brain, what in our spirit, what is it that we're able to have those dreams or that sort of connection with that past loved individual? I do remember he was an Aquarius.
Oh,
He's
really?
an Aquarius. Yeah. His birthday was in January. And the uncle that took care of him, his birthday's in January too.
Oh, cool.
And so the aunt that I was talking about, she's in February. She's an Aquarius too.
Oh, okay.
So we all kind of have like birthdays back to back. So I just remember growing up, my mom saying, well, it's your birthday, and then it's your Theo's birthday, or your grandpa's birthday.
Yeah.
One of those, they're
Yeah.
flipped.
Right.
And then your Tia's birthday. So we all have birthdays back to back.
Yeah.
So I
That's
don't know.
interesting.
It's very
Yeah,
interesting.
it really is.
Yeah, like I had a conversation with my aunt, which is my grandma's sister, a few months ago, and I was reconnecting with her, and I was asking her, Tia, have you ever had a dream of my grandma before? And she was like, actually, I have. And I asked her, can you tell me about it? And she was like, yeah, I had a dream that I was like walking into a place that kind of looked like a chapel or like a small church, because my grandma was like really big on her faith. So like she said, she walked into the chapel and there was like a bunch of chairs, right? And she was gonna sit down. There was like one empty spot. And like as my aunt was walking to the chair, some other lady stopped her, and she was like, you can't sit there, and like in Spanish she was like, la hermana Lucrecia, ese es su lugar, meaning like that's Lucrecia, that was my grandma's name, right?
Okay.
So she was like, that's her spot, right? And then my aunt was just kind of like confused, but then like my grandma, who had obviously already passed away, she like walked into the room, and my aunt saw her, and my aunt was like, what are you doing here? And she was like, what do you mean, what am I doing here? She was like, I'm supposed to be here. Like, I've been here, right? And then, yeah. And then my aunt asked her, she was like, how is it where you're living or where you are? And then my grandma was just like, it's beautiful. Like something you could never imagine. Like a true paradise,
Yeah.
And then my aunt said that's when she just immediately woke up. But yeah, that was like, that really like hit me, because I was really close to my grandma, and it was just reassurance that she was in a place where she was at peace and she was happy. But yeah, dreams like that are getting emotional right now.
Did that happen?
Yeah.
But
Did she have the dream right away after her passing, or was it a few years afterwards?
it was a few years after.
Oh.
It was a few years after, but yeah, it was just reassurance. She's in a good place, and I don't know what that might look like, but just from what she said, and this is not only like just my grandma saying that, like I've heard so many stories that like in the afterlife,
Yeah.
it's just like a place you couldn't even imagine. Like so much beauty. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
It
Yep.
does, yeah.
So yeah,
That's deep.
deep,
Super deep.
super deep.
I love hearing stories about that.
Yeah.
About visitations. I really do believe they're visitations too. There's something you all can like research about too. It's called dream yoga. It's actually something. It's a practice that Tibetan monks master to communicate with ancestors and past loved ones, and it's also a practice they use to death preparation. Believe it or not, sounds kind of crazy.
Death preparation. So dream yoga, preparing yourself.
It could, yeah, preparing yourself to make the process of death a lot easier, where you're more conscious in that state, I guess the dream state, or it's a lot to it's hard to explain really, but I know it reminds me of we were talking about it last time, the movie Ace Ventura.
Oh yeah.
when he's doing the whole alrighty then, and then he astral projects into this Tibetan monk temple, But yeah, that's stuff that they use in movies and you hear about. But it's a really interesting topic. You know, I've never heard of it.
Dream yoga?
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of it. So my question is, you do yoga and you force yourself to dream?
No, it's not. It's called dream yoga, but you're not doing actual yoga, like, you know, just the poses.
Yeah.
You're like sleeping.
It's
right?
meditating.
Oh,
usually.
meditating.
Yeah. So sleeping is it's kind of like how the intro says, and the what we call sleep is unconscious meditation. Real meditation is conscious sleep, where you're in that state right before you're in REM sleep. That's the state of meditation.
That's crazy.
Which is basically conscious sleep.
Or scientific terms, before REM sleep, you're in stage 3.
Stage 3.
That's what it is.
Sleep, yeah. Stage 3 of sleep, and the waves are very different than stage 1 and stage 2. The waves in stage 3, they're a little bit more slower, so I can see how it's more of a meditative state. Because the brain waves that you see when somebody's in stage 3, they're more of like a triangular form. They go up very slowly and then go down very slowly. Whereas if you're in stage 1, it goes a little bit more faster, or even REM. So I can see how that's the meditative state.
Yeah, in Tibetan Buddhism, that's just a whole different school of thought. So all the terminology and perspectives are all different. More spiritual point of view. Very interesting, though.
It's all that's really interesting. I haven't looked too much into that.
Me neither.
I should.
Yeah, it's a pretty alien topic here in Western civilization.
Right.
We're definitely not taught about that stuff, but it's definitely, the knowledge is available, the information is available to you. So dream yoga, look that up.
Dream yoga.
We're gonna look it up, probably.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
You want to Google it right now? No.
Right. I know. Right. Pull up my phone.
We'll do some homework and we'll come back and talk about it a little more.
To be discussed.
Because it's very mind blowing.
Okay, so the reason why we are talking about dream visitations is because we got a story from one of our good friends, and we will give a little bit of a background first before we dive into the dream, so you guys are able to understand the dream a little bit better. And so Jay will start off with a little background.
Very beautiful story, by the
Very
way,
beautiful
guys.
story.
And it's very long. We kind of cut it short, Lindsey. I hope you forgive us, but nonetheless, it's a very beautiful story.
And thank you for sending that over to us.
Thank you
so much.
Very deep, very healing, very
appreciate it
amazing.
so very much. We love you.
Yes.
Okay, so a little background, right? Okay. My father, Keith Edward Barnes, passed away in our family home in Fort Worth, Texas, on the west side. It was November 7th, 2017, in the middle of the day, and he was 54 years old. November 7th is 8 days after my birthday, October 29th. So I wasn't in Fort Worth because I was on a birthday road trip going to Colorado to see a rapper I like live named Black. It was my 27th birthday trip that I was really excited for. I had just entered Colorado when I got the call from my mom that she thought my father was dying. She was confused and distraught, which is very unlike my mother if you know her. She usually has an answer for everything, but she was out of it. I was in shock, and then my sister Crystal called me and told me the same thing. She was in a panic driving down the highway to my parents' house with her husband Michael and her children with her. She was crying, telling me that our daddy is dying, Lindsey. What are we going to do? My father, being shot in the head, killed him on sight. His friends threw him in the back of my Uncle Kevin's truck and took him to Harris Hospital downtown Fort Worth, all the way from Benbrook Lake, which is about a 20 minute drive if you've ever made that drive. His friends absolutely saved his life. Sorry.
It's okay.
Although he survived, this attack took so much from my father, including his eyesight, and gave him seizures for the rest of his life. The metal plate in his head to cover his bullet hole wound could move at any time, causing him to die at any moment. This is what he had to live with after his attack. He had to learn how to speak, walk, write, etc., all over again. He also had to learn how to read Braille and how to walk with a walking stick for blind people. but he conquered it all, even though the doctor said he wouldn't.
All right. So, with the background story, we know now that he did suffer from brain injuries, TBI, traumatic brain injuries to the
That's so
brain.
crazy.
And
I never knew that about her dad. That
You
happened.
didn't?
No.
honestly,
never.
I didn't
I
either.
told you.
I think I met him like once, twice too, but no, did I?
Did you ever meet him over there at that house in Crowley where we used to live for a while?
I think I did.
Yeah, and he was telling us
Before-
about that
yeah.
Mexican restaurant down the street. He was like, "You got to
did.
try
I remember that
sometime."
now.
Yeah, that's like the only memory I have of
I
him.
think he was there. I think her sisters there too.
Yeah, they were like, yeah. That's the only memory I have of him. And
Yeah.
it's gonna
Yeah, I
take
think
that
I
was
only
the
met
only-
him once.
Yeah.
such a nice man,
Yeah, I remember him
Such a
being
gentleman.
really nice.
super
That's
sweet.
insane.
Yeah, so now we know that he did suffer from brain injuries that resulted in him getting seizures later on. So jumping into his dream,
Her dream.
or her dream, my bad. All right, so as I lay there falling asleep and then crying in my sleep, I began to dream. I woke up in the dream to sitting in a dark room with a black round table with black chairs, and I was sitting there alone, still crying so hard. It's almost as if I was in a prison meeting room from a movie where it's dark and one light is shining on the table and the police are interrogating a prisoner. That's where I was to paint you a picture. It was a very bleak, lonely, and scary looking room. I had never been in this room before. It was the perfect setting for how I was feeling, because there was no one in there, nothing on the walls, and barely any light. It described how I felt the first few hours, days, weeks, months, and possibly years without my father on this earth any longer. I was leaning my head on the table, and I was crying, and my tears were falling to the ground. And I was just looking at them because I didn't have the strength to move. When I finally looked up, a boy was sitting by me at the table who I'd never seen before. I don't know if he was always in the room and I just didn't see him, or if he just appeared like an angel. It kind of sounds scary because I thought I was alone in this room the whole time. But this young boy was staring at me, and he wasn't crying, but he was so sad for me. It's almost as if he didn't have any sadness himself, but just sadness for me. I could feel his emotions and he could feel mine. That wasn't said in the dream, but I was sad, and he was sad for me, and I knew that. He was younger than me by about 10 years, and he knew me, but I didn't know him. He had this look on his face as if he was sorry, like he did something to me. But I was so confused by why, because I didn't know him. It was as if he spoke without speaking. He rested his hand on my arm to comfort me, and I pulled away because I didn't know who this boy was. My whole face in my dream hurt from crying so much. I was feeling pain in my dream, and I could feel my wet tears rolling down my face onto my clothes. I then realized when the boy pulled away from me after I pulled away from him trying to comfort me. That boy was my father.
Wow.
I had this epiphany that I had seen him, but only in pictures. He tried to comfort me without words to stop crying, but it was like a sickness, these tears I kept pouring out. He looked so healthy in the dream, this teenage boy who I didn't even know, but knew at the same time. His hair was full and brown. He was wearing blue jeans, brown boots, and white long socks, and a white and light blue collared shirt. He was so sweet to me, even though we had just met for the first time. He had this love towards me that I feel as it confused him and confused me, because though this boy eventually became my father in real life, but the age he was in my dream, it wasn't my actual father yet. Once I knew it was my dad, but a younger version of him, I never had the sensation to hug him or anything, because though it was the same person, it still wasn't. This was a boy, someone who was free of my father's problems and issues. Someone who didn't know how to be a dad, because this boy was just about 16 years old. This boy seemed like he just wanted to be free, and he had such a sweet smile. Once he knew he had my attention, he started to sweetly smile at me. That made me feel better that I was able to see him happy, healthy, without fears or pain, and he had his eyesight because he wasn't wearing any glasses. He didn't have his bald spot in his hair because he hadn't had the brain surgery yet to remove the sheds of the bullet and to put the metal plate in. This boy was safe from all of that because it hadn't happened to him yet. This boy was happy and free, almost as if he hadn't been for so long. Keith, the young version of my dad, started taking off his boots and started to take off his white socks. My dad always wore a very particular kind of socks, which were the long white tube socks, because he only wore boots and work boots, so he needed long socks. This boy was wearing the same socks, the same kind of Levi jeans, and the same kind of boots. and the same kind of collared shirts that my dad always liked. Anyways, while the boy was taking off his boots and socks, I was just watching him, and somehow, yes, you guessed it, I was still crying. The boy magically took out a marker from his pocket. He put his sock on the round black table and started writing something on his sock. He then showed me what he wrote, and it was the word happiness. He pointed at the sock, and then he pointed at me. He never spoke, and neither did I. The only real sounds I heard were my tears in the whole dream. I knew that he wanted me to have happiness once he showed me the sock. I knew the message from this boy I just met was trying to tell me to be happy. I wasn't even surprised in the dream either. It's like I was completely numb to any emotions outside of sadness, even looking into the eyes of my father, who had quickly transformed into the carefree, happy, pain-free boy sitting beside me. But after this message he showed me, I almost immediately woke up from my dream.
Wow. That was so deep.
That was.
I was like trying not to cry while you were reading that. No, really.
I think we all cried the first time we read it,
Yeah,
though.
we did.
No, we did. We were all like
cried.
messaging each other, like, damn.
I'll admit it, I was a little teary-eyed. Yeah.
I was like, I'm
Because,
crying.
you know, it's someone that's very close to us that
Yeah.
we've known for a while, and then just reading her emotions, how descriptive she was about everything.
Very
her
descriptive.
It was
background story, how, you know, like I said, I didn't know her dad had any sort of brain
Yeah.
injury and had seizures
Yeah.
later on, and which ended up being the cause of him to pass away. So whenever we read the background and then the dream, it's like, man.
Yeah, so this is what she has after the dream. I have dreamed of my father multiple times since then. He rarely speaks in my dreams. Sometimes we've hung out in the parking lot on University, Fort Worth, where the Barnes & Noble and Starbucks is. He really loved bookstores and coffee shops, just like I do. He loved that Starbucks on University, and the workers there actually reached out to me after my dad's death because he went there so much that they noticed he was gone. One of the gentlemen who worked there wrote me a message saying that my father was his favorite customer. He will never forget him. They would talk about books they were currently reading, history topics, and baseball, all things that my father loved. I've seen my father multiple times at my parents' home while dreaming, and he's playing the piano for me on sunny days. Maria was present in one of those dreams, and that dream is very special to me since my father never met my wife, Maria. But he played the piano for us in my dreams. He was a good piano player, which is why my mom bought a piano early on in their marriage.
Mm-hmm.
When she sold our family home, that piano was left on the curb, and someone picked it up almost immediately. I hope they have lovely memories with it, too.
When I read that, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I know, right?
I've never had a dream with him being that young version of himself again after November 7th, 2017, and I'm unsure if I ever will. In my dreams since that night, he's been younger versions of my actual dad who I knew, and the version of him that I last remember him being the age he was when he passed. He was always very happy to see me in my dreams, and I'm always happy to see him too. The very first dream I had of him that night of his passing is not happiness we felt towards each other. It was pure sadness, regret, uncertainty. And him trying to give me a message of happiness was something that completely caught me off guard. The boy version of him was showing me that he was now free of his pain he felt later in life, and that even though he wasn't my father anymore, he just wanted happiness for me. I'm thankful for that message he gave me that night. Rest in paradise to my dad, my protector, my cheerleader, someone who sacrificed for me, someone who advocated for me, and someone who now visits me in my dreams. Whether it's actual spirits or just my unconscious mind trying to comfort me, I'm extremely happy to see my dad every single time I see him when I'm asleep, because that's all we have anymore, him and I.
Rest in peace, Keith.
Yes.
Good man.
I was kind of, I don't know. Like whenever I read it, I was like, wow, she saw the younger version of her dad. It wasn't even the version that she remembered of him, like right before he passed. It was him consoling her while he was younger, before all the pain, before all the trauma, carefree.
I think that's interesting too. This is not the first time I've heard of somebody dreaming of a deceased loved one who was a younger version of themselves.
Really?
And I've also read that people dream of themselves, or people present themselves as their younger versions, because their awareness is, I guess, who they were and when they were in their prime, or how they
Right.
like she said, how he felt before he was in a lot of pain before the incident. Yeah.
I think the sock, like the part of him handing her a sock with the word happiness is like probably like not like the most important part, but it just like means so much. It has so much meaning behind it, because I was with her, not with her, but I was kind of sort of hanging out with her around that time. And so I was actually there for her father's funeral. So I got to really see her pain and kind of like experience it, not in the same way, but like I totally felt her pain, and she was so sad, so devastated, which is completely normal, her best friend, her dad. But the message is so huge, he really wants her to be happy, and I think he wants, like, he doesn't want to like be forgotten, but he like wants her to pay tribute to him while she finds happiness. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay, good.
Not only that, like, he's no longer here in the physical world, but they're able to spend time together in dreams. Spend time together, and now they're spending time together with Maria.
Yeah.
The piano.
It's so cool how she was in that dream too. It's wild. But I think the message is very clear, and I'm so happy that she's in such a better place now.
She is.
Like, she's so happy, and we're all so happy for her. Like, she's expecting her first child.
We went to her baby shower.
We went to her baby shower.
It was fun seeing everybody again.
So much fun.
I wish I could have made it. I'm sorry, Lindsey.
We love Lindsey though.
I was being a crippled man in bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he really was. He really was. But
I'm happy to have met someone like Lindsey.
Yeah, she's
Everybody
awesome.
needs a Lindsey. In their
everybody
life.
needs a Lindsey in their life.
Yeah.
She
could have spent more time together though. It's okay.
But
She's good vibes. It really is.
You're such a great
best
friend for being there for her.
if
And
you
I'm
wanna-
sure
if
it
you
was
wanna call
super
it that.
hard.
Yeah, because she's not really like, I don't consider her like my friend. She's really like a sister to me.
I
Like,
see
we
that.
got really close. We went to the same high school together. The three of us, and I talked to her briefly in high school,
Yeah.
but we didn't get close until after high school. And then when we got close, we got close. Like, we've been through shit together. Sorry, excuse my.
We're good.
Here you go.
But we've both seen each other at our lowest. We've been through ups and downs together, and I think it's really beautiful to have a friend like that in your life,
Yeah.
because sometimes in those types of situations you feel so alone, and sometimes like you just want someone there to be there for you, understand you, just honestly, like literally just sitting next to you.
Yeah, not even saying a word.
Not
just
even saying a
being there
word,
physically.
I think that's so important.
Yeah.
And she's been there for me through I mean, we've laughed many times together. I mean, every
Yeah.
time we see each other, we are laughing.
Yeah.
But we have also cried together so many times. But I'm so happy for her now. She's extremely like in a better place. You know, she moved to another city. Even though we miss her, you know, she is living the life out there with her wife, and they are expecting their first baby, who will be born in 10 days,
Something like that. Yeah.
baby Henry. So we're, you know, she's just so much better and happier, and I'm so happy for her. And it's just happiness exploding out of my heart.
Yeah.
We love you.
Thank
you for sharing your
Thank
story
you for
with
sharing your
us.
story.
For sharing, yes.
Thank you so much.
None of us will ever be ready to lose our parents, and just, man, I'm sorry that you went through that rough time. I hope you guys are there for me whenever
We
it
will.
happens.
We will.
Of course.
And likewise, because, you know,
I think
I
we've gone
should.
through so much together not to be there for one another.
Yeah.
yeah.
Even if we
Definitely.
had a
And-
falling out, we'd probably show up.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's just who we are.
That's just who
So
we are.
if any of our listeners have any interesting stories that you guys like to share with us, please do so. We'll have the email in the description. If you have any dream visitations or anything relating to sleep, any other.
You know what I was
Topics.
thinking?
So,
Her dad passed away the same year my grandpa passed away.
Oh, really?
2017.
Oh, wow.
Passed away January 2017.
okay.
January what?
2017.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Remember the date? The day he passed away?
I don't remember the actual date,
Oh,
but
okay.
it was a crazy experience because I don't know if you guys have thought about how sometimes whenever somebody is born into the family, somebody passes away in the family. That's what kind of was happening on my dad's side of the family.
I know what you mean.
So, yeah, when I was having Ariana, my grandpa actually went into the hospital.
I've heard that. I've heard that a lot. It's crazy.
And
right?
then my sister had her son, and that's whenever, I think a week or some days right after, he passed away. So, yeah, it's a story to tell. But it's just crazy how
a new life begins.
a new
I've
life
heard
begins.
that, trippy, but so cool and beautiful, you know. This whole experience is beautiful, regardless of like
It is.
all the, you know. I don't know. Life
It is. Life is
beautiful,
what you
man.
make of it, man.
Life is
It is.
beautiful.
Like, I know there's people out there that are
beautiful mystery.
mean,
Right.
evil, but at the end of the day, we're all here to live.
Yeah, we are.
and love.
Live and love.
Love
We're all
and light.
making it up as we go along.
This is just a dream in the end. We're all just
Speaking of which,
we're all just dreamers on this journey.
boom. Speaking of which,
Boom.
so we're gonna do this whole roomy quote thing. Every episode, it doesn't even have to be roomy. Just anything we find interesting to share with everybody. So this is a quote, and it's very relevant to what you just said. It's good. It's by Rumi. This place is a dream. Only a sleeper considers it real. Then death comes like dawn, and you wake up laughing at what you thought was your grief.
Wait,
I love
what?
that quote, dude.
Hold on.
Again, I'll read it again.
Yeah.
Like, can you repeat
Slowly,
that?
please.
Remember now, Rumi is a philosopher from, I think, the 1700s. And so this is one of his quotes. Very profound. This place is a dream. Only a sleeper considers it real. Then death comes like dawn, and you wake up laughing at what you thought was your grief. So
What
there's
you thought, which was your grief.
what you thought was your grief.
Like
And it
everything.
reminds me of the Bill Hicks quote, where he talks about the world is a ride, just like
Oh,
the
yeah.
amusement park. And you think it's real because that's how powerful our minds are. And what I think the quote is implying, or what it's referring to, is the nature of existence, which is that life is physical reality is a type of dream, a passing dream.
A
But yeah.
passing dream like we're living it.
Right.
Right, we're
Right.
living the dream.
Yeah, right now.
Yep.
Like, think of the universe as a field of a field of dreams, I guess. Like, because like how I said once before, there's only one of us here. Experiencing itself subjectively from billions of different perspectives.
I mean, yeah, you're right. Because everybody has their own perspectives, their own lives, and then we're all on this world to live it together.
Yeah. That quote was deep. I really like that quote.
Yeah, just
we wake up to what we thought was our grief. Right at the end of it. It's dope. So true.
it reminds me of a Bashar video where somebody Bashar the channeler.
Thank you.
Thank you. And do you good day. Or somebody asked him what death feels like, and he said it's literally how you feel when you wake up from a dream. I like the actual experience of death.
Of death?
Like what happens inside. I'm not talking about what happens to you out here, like if you get shot or if you get ran over.
Yeah.
Or if you, very interesting.
Very
I think as the
interesting.
episodes go along, we'll get deeper and deeper into topics like these.
Yeah, because
Dive
we can
deeper.
say a lot of stuff about this right now.
It's not the ordinary topic someone talks about every day, probably. And I hope we're not pushing anybody away with this kind of stuff.
Please don't get scared.
This is something we've been looking into since like 2012.
Yeah. I think the right crowd will understand,
Right.
I'll bring the scientific aspect to it. So
Yeah, definitely.
bringing our minds together and creating this podcast.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
All right. Well, I guess that was episode 3.
Thank you guys for tuning in and listening to episode 3 where we discuss dream visitation. Did you get yourself?
I did.
Where we discuss dream visitation of our past loved ones and dream about them. If you guys have any more stories or anything, we will drop down our email address below. And that's it for today.
That's going to be it, guys. Until next time.
Namaste. Thank you
Our
for watching.
Episode 3.
Episode 3.
Tres.
Welcome to the Midnight Mysteries Podcast.